Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're coming up to about 4 years or so. I've had my performance harness engine, my 2.2 pinto race engine, shall we call it. So I thought I'd give you a bit of a review, how I've been getting on with the engine, how good the service was from Jeff and James Harris and that, and a little story about how I went about ordering it and picking it up and stuff. So the problem was, I restored my car and I put a pinto in it. I built the pinto with my granddad. It was a bit of a fast road pinto with a fast road head and stuff. So it should have been about 150-ish brake horsepower. And within a couple of months or so, I blew the engine up. If you're new to the channel, go and have a look at some of my past videos. I do give this rs2000 a hard time, so I tend to give it some stick so you can understand why I must have blown the engine up. So anyway, the engine bay needed painting because the exhaust had got dead hot and made the paint peel in the engine bay, and the oil pressure dropped on the engine we'd built. So I thought, I'll tell you what, let's bring it off the road again and let's get a proper engine built for it. So I emailed Jeff and James Harris. At the time, they were massive on Facebook. James Harris had his sky blue coloured Mk1 escort, and there was a mate that he used to hang around with, and he had a bright orange Mk1 escort, and all you ever seen on Facebook was videos of them doing burnouts and stuff. And I thought, you know what, I can see that them engines they're building can take some stuff, it can take some stick, so I want one of them engines. That was it. So after a few emails to and fro, we spoke about money and what sort of specs I wanted. I was after something with over 200 brake horsepower at least, and everyone was doing 2.1s with a forged bottom end, so forged pistons, forged rods, and I fancied something a bit different. So James gave me the option of going for a 2.2. He said, we've built quite a few 2.2s, there's a certain way we build them and you'll get more torque, and it wasn't a great deal more money. So I thought, to tell you what, I'll go for the 2.2 option. I quite like the idea of it. A lot of people on the forums had bought 2.1s off Jeff and James Harris, so I thought I'll go for the 2.2 because I fancied it being a little bit more different, you know what I mean? So I think it was January 2017, I pulled the engine out of the car. I send the car off to get the engine bay, I strip it all down, send the car off to get the engine bay painted, and we whipped down to Jeff and James Harris's workshop, and we dropped the engine off, me and my mate Matty. So 4 or 5 months later, after me sending the money over to Jeff and James Harris, they say your engine's ready, and they send me a video of it on the rig. They've got like a little engine rig that they run it up so they can run the cam in. They have their own little special spec cams that they use, and I asked them to run the cam in so I can make sure the engine was running good oil pressure, you know what I mean? Something James Harris loves to do. He loves to put them on their engine rig, make sure everything's perfectly good, because they send a lot of engines abroad. There's a lot of lads abroad who rally pintos and stuff and cross flows, and they send a lot of engines abroad, so it gives them that quality, so they know in their head that our engine's perfect when it gets crated up and gets sent abroad. So it's quite a good idea. So I opted for that option. I wanted him to run in the cam and that before I collected the engine. So me and my mate Matty dive in one of my Range Rovers I had at the time, and we shoot down to go and, well, shoot down, should we say, 4 and a bit hours to go and collect the engine. We collect the engine, and 4 and a bit hours back, and we fit the engine to the car that day. It was a great day, it was. I remember it. We were knackered, but we were just dying to get the engine in the car that day. So get the engine in the car, and you know what, it was just boss achievement going to collect it the same day and getting it fitted to the car the same day. So May 2017, it was the day we collected the engine. We get the engine in, and I spent a couple of late nights that week plumbing the engine up, finishing off a bit of wiring and stuff, finishing a few bits and pieces off on the car, ready to get it ready for to take down to show a Classic Ford. So got a chance to put it on the rs2000 Classic Ford that year, and it was a great achievement seeing something I've built. I've built it from the shell up, you know what I mean, being on a stand, loads of people looking at it and stuff, and it was quite a nice achievement. It was great. So anyway, we're nearly at 4 years on now. I think I've done about 4,000 or 5,000 miles in the car. I don't tend to do a great deal of mileage in it, but it has been used, especially the first year I had it. I couldn't stay out of it. I absolutely love the car. We had it set up at Mk1's dyno in Congleton, and it made 213 brake horsepower. I'll put a picture up of the power graph now. Review of the engine, oh my god, I'm so happy that I went for a 2.2 model. It's got so much torque low down, you haven't got to rev it to what it can rev to. I ended up putting a rev limiter on it in the end because I didn't want it revving to what it actually can rev to. Jeff and James Harris reckon these can rev to like 8 to 8,500 RPM, and I didn't want to be taking the car to that. So why it was at my mechanics in Congleton, I got him to set the red line so it was just above torque. It's max torque, so there's no point in revving the engine any further if you're not getting any more power and any more torque. So I've got him to set the rev limiter, especially when I like to go sideways every 5 minutes. It saves me trying to blow the engine up, doesn't it? If I was ever gonna have to get another engine built, I'd definitely go to them again, too right I would. Even though some people might think it's expensive getting an engine built by them, when you put the cost of the parts in, you're not actually paying a lot of money for the labour and the experience, you know, that goes with that. Them guys, they know what works, you know what I mean? They know what works with these old Ford engines. They know where to get the power. They've tried and tested it for years and years of experience, you know what I mean, of battering these engines in, so they know what works. So, you know what I mean, if I was going to get another engine, another pinto or crossflow built, I'd definitely go and see them again, you know what I mean. I've seen that they've done a couple of Cosworth NAs and Lotus twin cams and stuff recently, so, you know what I mean, they're putting out some lovely stuff and some lovely quality. I noticed that they've started doing gearboxes and diff rebuilds, so, you know what I mean, any sort of mechanical work that needs doing, I'd definitely suggest going towards them. I'll put the details in the links below. Alright, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, guys, and subscribe. Alright, and I'll see you soon. Take it easy.